Hello, welcome everyone to our next topic, different methods of contraception. So in this topic, we'll cover different topics of contraception, their names, the failure rate of the different method of the contraception, as well as we will discuss a few methods of utmost importance. So let's start. So before we start, what is contraception? It is any method which inhibits or delays the unwanted pregnancies. So the methods of contraceptions can be divided into two methods, mainly two methods. So two methods mainly. The first one is permanent method, and the second one is the temporary method. So in the permanent method, in case of the males, there is vasectomy, and in case of the females, we perform tubectomy or tubal ligation. What is vasectomy? Vasectomy is a portion of bilateral vas deferens is cut, and both of them are tied and cut separately. So the sperm transport from the Sertoli cells or the Leydig cells is not happening, and they are not coming out through the penile urethra. And in case of the tubectomy, here the bilateral fallopian tube part is again cut into two parts, and so there is no flow of the ovum from the ovaries. And what are the different temporary methods? Here we should take names of different methods. So let's take a look. Number one is natural method. In the natural methods, there are again three subtypes. One is lactational amenorrhea, number two, calendar method, or it's again called rhythm method, and number three is coitus interruptus or withdrawal method. I am discussing. So at first, let's take the name first. Number two, barrier methods. Here the examples are condom or diaphragm. Number three, IUCD. Full form is intrauterine copper devices. Here examples are copper T380A, which is a multi-loaded copper device, or it's a hormonal. Example, levonorgestrel containing IUCD, which are already or also known as Mirena. Number four is some hormonal pills. Here we take the name. The most important method of the contraception used in case of females are OCP, oral contraceptive pills, or progesterone only pills. Number five, there are some injectable methods. Injectable forms of some steroids in high dose like DMPA, the full form is depomedroxyprogesterone acetate, or NET-N, norethistérone enanthrate. So these are used as some hormonal depot preparations injected into females so that the pregnancy can be delayed. Some miscellaneous points are there, like some example of centroman. Centroman is a non-steroidal contraceptive. Or we can take the name of Gossypol. It's a male chemical oral contraceptive. These are the examples of the miscellaneous types of other temporary methods. So let's discuss one by one. Number one is the natural methods of the contraception. Now we at first take the name of the lactational amenorrhea. Here, in case of the mothers who just gave birth the baby, who are lactating, actually infants are taking breastfeeds, in that patients or in those females, the lactational period for 6 months or maximum 1 year, there is some amenorrheic condition, that is the menstruation is not happening due to increased prolactin secretion. The prolactin inhibits gonadotrophin, so the menstruation is not happening, and it is taken at that time period of the lactational phase. The females are not able to produce ovum due to lack of the gonadotrophin secretion from the pituitary. So this is called the phase of the lactational amenorrhea. So it is a natural method, and in case of the lactational amenorrhea, this is actually very much I think it is very much vague because anytime the ovulation can happen, and if we follow this lactational amenorrhea blindly, there is maybe a high failure rate of the contraception. Now come to the next method, calendar method or the rhythm method. Here, in case of the calendar method or the rhythm method, what is done? We actually discuss about safe period. That means it is the time period during a single cycle of the menstrual phase of a female. In that case, if we do the unprotected intercourse, the pregnancy won't happen. But it is again a very unstable method. Safe period is calculated like this. In this phase, the menstrual period is taken. Suppose it is 26 to 30 days cycle in a female. So in case of this cycle, we take the shortest day cycle first. That means here the shortest day cycle is 26 days and the longest day cycle is 30 days. So we subtract the shortest cycle phase, that is the shortest cycle here is 26 days. Here the shortest cycle is divided from 18. Sorry, subtracted from 18. That means 8. And the longest cycle here is 30 days. Here we subtract it from the 11. So it's 19. So this 8 and 19, it has utmost significance in calculating the safe period. The first fertile day in a female whose menstrual cycle is 26 to 30 days. So the first fertile days is the shortest cycle days minus 18. So here example is 8, and the last fertile day is longest cycle minus 11. So here we got the example of 19. So starting from the 8th day of the menstrual cycle up to the 19th day of the menstrual cycle is called the unsafe period. In this phase, if unprotected intercourse has happened, so there is high chance of becoming pregnant. And other than those days, it is relatively safe to do unprotected intercourse. So again, I tell you, this safe period or this calculation method is totally vague because ovulation can't happen anytime, but it is again told as a natural method of the contraception or the calendar method or the rhythm method. In the calendar method or the rhythm method, so there is a high failure rate. It is almost 15.5% per 100 women year. Now, in this context, I must tell you one point. What is the failure rate index, or how we calculate the different contraceptive methods failure measurements, or how the different contraceptive methods get failured, how to measure. So here we use an index named Pearl index. This Pearl index used as a statistical estimation of the number of the unintended pregnancies in 100 women years of exposure. So 100 women years of exposure. So in short, we write it down HWY. So what is 100 women year? If 100 women uses any single type or a particular type of contraceptive method for the period of 1 year, the failure rate, that means suppose in this case 15.5 or at least 15% or 15 mothers got pregnant. So in that case, the failure rate is so high, that means in 100 subjects, 15 subjects got pregnant. So it is called the Pearl index or 100 women year of the exposure. Or we can tell it's 10 women over 10 years of exposure. So if we study 10 women for a particular type of contraceptive methods using for 10 years, it's also taken as a 100 women year. That means the number of the women multiplied by the number of the years. So it's a measurement of the failure rate of the any particular contraceptive methods. Now, third natural method is coitus interruptus or withdrawal method. Here, actually before ejaculation, we withdraw the penis from the vaginal wall so that the actual sperm penetration is not happening. This is called the withdrawal method. Again, it's a very much vague and risky procedure, and failure rate is so high. Now, next come to the very important point here is condom or diaphragm, named under the method of barrier. Barrier means it's a barrier for the sperm penetration to the ovum. That means some barrier is there so that the sperm is not entering the vaginal wall or gets separated. So in case of the male, the most used method is condom, and in case of the female, the most used method is diaphragm. The failure rate of the diaphragm is 1.9 per 100 women year. In case of the condom, it is 3.6 per 100 women years. Now we will discuss male condom in a brief. We know the male condom has a failure rate of at least 3.6 to 4 per 100 women year. Now, except from the contraceptive method, this condom has many non-contraceptive benefits. So it is a very important point to be asked in the question or in case of short note. What are the different non-contraceptive benefits of the condom? Number one, it protects against STD. STD means sexually transmitted diseases like AIDS or like some gonorrhea. Number two, anti-sperm antibody if there is in cervical mucus. This anti-sperm antibody in the cervical mucus destroys the sperm when they enter the vaginal tract. So this condom is protective against this phenomenon. Number three, can be used as a condom catheter in ICU or in case of traumatic cases where the subjects can't hold the urine for himself or himself. Number four, so used for transvaginal sonography. Probe. Here probe is covered with condom sometimes. In case of the transvaginal sonography, the probe is sometimes covered with the condom. And number five, it is also used as condom tamponade pack, or it's also known as Schiffker's pack, and it is used to treat atonic type of PPH. PPH means postpartum hemorrhage. So in gynae you will look for the term atonic PPH. It's a very lethal condition. PPH is the fastest killer of the mother. After the childbirth there is a huge bleeding due to some atonic. Atonic means uterus after the childbirth gets contracted and the blood vessels get closed, and there is slowly the bleeding from the uterine vessels are stopped. But in case of the atonic PPH, uterus is not contracted and the bleeding continues, and if we don't treat the condition, definitely mother will go to the shock and ultimately mother will die. So these are the different non-contraceptive benefits of the condom. So we discussed the condom, and in case of the diaphragm, it's a, we can tell it's a female condom. Here the one end is open and one end is closed, and it covers the entire vagina, and diaphragm mainly covers the cervical region, so that the sperm penetration is not possible. And we know the failure rate here is at least 1.9 to 2 per 100 women years. Next we will discuss the IUCD or intrauterine copper devices. It's a very important point, and it's a thing can be asked in the short note. So let's discuss IUCD. IUCD has a failure rate of 0.5 to 1.5 per 100 women years. Now IUCD has 3 generations. First generation, second generation, and third generation. So in case of the first generation IUCD, which we used is inert devices. Inert devices, example is Lippes loop, which is now obsolete. In second generation IUCD, we used all copper containing devices. Example, copper 380A. And in case of the third generation, nowadays the most modern method is hormonal devices, and we know the name is Mirena. Now now let's discuss about something about copper T380A. How this name came? So it's a copper containing devices. So it's a copper containing device, that's why the term is Cu, copper. T, it came from the size or shape of the device, it's T-shaped, and below there are two threads, and this device is inserted into the uterine cavity of the females. So T for the T shape of the device. 380 means it's a surface area. What is the surface area? The surface area is 380 millimeter square of exposed surface area of copper. That means in this copper T, the exposed surface area of copper is 380 millimeter square, and A is for arm. So this is the term copper T380A. Next are the hormonal devices. Here we use different type of hormones used in this T-shaped IUCD. Here the most important method is levonorgestrel containing IUCDs. This levonorgestrel containing IUCDs we know also known as Mirena, but many books has written the LNG IUCD as LNG IUD or LNG 20 or Levonova. Now what is the modern method is the Mirena, but before this we used different type of other methods like progestasert. Here also we used progesterones. Here 38 milligram of progesterone we used, and it liberated 65 microgram of the progesterone every day, and the lifespan is 1 year. But the main problem about this progestasert was it increases the risk of the ectopic pregnancy. That means the ampulla of the fallopian tube is actually the normal site of the sperm penetration of the ovum or fertilization, but it actually get implanted at the uterine cavity at the endometrium. But in this case of the ectopic pregnancy, the fertilized ovum gets away from the uterine cavity from any other side, maybe in the abdominal viscera or in the abdominal peritoneal cavity. So it's called the ectopic pregnancy. But in case of the Mirena or the levonorgestrel containing IUCD, here we used 52 milligram of the levonorgestrel, which liberates 20 microgram of the day. Now actually this LNG 20, here the 20 means it liberates 20 microgram per day levonorgestrel, and the lifespan is 5 years, but failure rate is very low, 0.09 per 100 women year. Now the other important point regarding the IUCD is its mechanism of action. So mechanism of action of the IUCD. In general, the IUCD containing copper, it actually has a spermatocidal effect. But the IUCD containing any hormones or progestins or progestaserts, they actually acts by thickening of the cervical mucosa, and thus it inhibits the sperm entry to uterus. Now this Mirena has many benefits. It has other benefits in like the conditions of endometriosis and adenomyosis. It has benefits in fibroid uterus. It helps in treatment of menorrhagia, where there is huge excessive bleeding during the menstrual phase. It helps in dysfunctional uterine bleeding and dysmenorrhea. It also has the advantage in the treatment and prevention of hyperplasia of endometrium. And also it decreases the risk of pelvic inflammatory diseases, and hence they protects against ectopic pregnancy. But remember, this type of IUCD has some risks, so that the inflammatory conditions occurring in the uterus, they get penetrated through the uterine wall and enters the peritoneal cavity. So that we already noted there are two threads attached at the tail of the T-shaped IUCD. Every female has to check these two threads every day or regularly, and if these threads are not palpable or not, the patient can't touch the threads in morning, so there may be a chance the IUCD got entry into the uterine through the uterine wall to the peritoneal cavity, and then they should seek for emergency room for the operative procedure to take out from the peritoneal cavity. So this is a major disadvantage of the IUCDs. So our next point is to discuss the oral contraceptive pill as a hormonal pill or hormonal tablet taken orally for contraception. So in this method, OCP or oral contraceptive pill, normally we know the OCP is a mixture of two hormones. Here the estrogen and progesterone are taken. Estrogen at the name of ethinyl estradiol. So this is the estrogen added with the progesterone or synthetic progestin named norethindrone. So this is progesterone. This is the combined pill named as oral contraceptive pill. Now in case of the standard dose, we use 50 microgram of the estrogen per pill. Per pill 50 microgram of estrogen. Now low dose OCP contains 30 microgram per pill estrogen, and very low dose OCP's content 20 microgram per pill estrogen. How the OCP acts? This combination of the estrogen and progesterone acts in a different way. Number one, they inhibit the gonadotrophin release. Number two, they interferes with the sperm penetration. Number three, they also interferes with implantation process by static endometrial hyperplasia. And number four, they reduce fallopian tube motility. This combination of the estrogen and the progesterone or OCP has failure rate of 0.32 when more than 50 milligram of the estrogen and the progesterone is used, or the failure rate of 0.27 when less than 50 microgram of estrogen and progesterone is used. Now there is another type of OCP named as progesterone only pill. Progesterone only pill. Its failure rate is 1.2 per 100 women years. Now progesterone only pill acts by mechanism of action. Number 1 is cervical mucus thickening, and number 2 is it interferes the implantation process with static endometrial hyperplasia. Now, another important question in this section is non-contraceptive benefits of OCP. So, non-contraceptive benefits of the OCPs are: number 1, they cure menstrual disorders. Number 2, they protect against some cancer like endometrial CA, ovarian CA, or colon CA. Number 3, they help to cure some benign breast diseases. Number 4, ovarian cysts also gets reduced in size or subsided by the use of the OCP. In case of the fibroid uterus, number 5, this is also very much advantageous. Number 6, also they reduce the chances of the ectopic pregnancy and reduce the chances of pelvic inflammatory diseases. Number 7, they reduce the chances of endometriosis. Number 8, in case of the PCOS or polycystic ovarian syndrome, there is high chance of acne and hirsutism, which gets reduced by the use of the OCPs. And number 9, some premenstrual syndromes also gets subsided by the use of the OCP. So these are the non-contraceptive benefits of the OCP. But remember, the OCPs have some disadvantages. What are the disadvantages of the OCP? Number 1, they increase the chances of some carcinomas like breast carcinoma. Number 2, cervical carcinoma. And number 3, hepatic carcinoma. These 3 carcinoma chances are somewhat increased with the use of the OCP, and some patients also complain the increase in body weight due to the use of the estrogen and progesterone combined pills. So when we use OCP, we should know what are the different absolute contraindications of the OCP. What are the different absolute contraindications of the use of the OCP? Number 1 is thromboembolism, or in case of deep venous thrombosis or stroke. Number 2, in case of migraine patients. Number 3, heart disease. Number 4, in case of acute liver disease patients, we can't use. In the patients who are giving breastfeeding to the infants. In chance of breast carcinoma, if we suspect a lump in the breast to be a breast carcinoma, we can't use OCP because we already know the chance of the breast carcinoma increases with the use of the OCP. So remember, these are the absolute contraindications of the OCP, and side by side, smoking in the subjects of more than age of 35 years, if there is history of mild hypotension or some complicated diabetes mellitus, they are the relative contraindications of OCP. That means we can use OCP with some pre-monitoring or some side-by-side treatment. So remember, these are the contraindications of the OCP. Now we will move to our next topic, injectable methods of the contraceptions. Injectable method of the contraceptions, we know already two names of those drugs used for injectable methods. One is dipomedroxyprogesterone acetate and norethindrone enanthate. Now this DMPA is used as 150 milligram, and this injection remains effective for the period of 3 months, and this net N is to be taken for every 2 months. So both of them, net N and DMPA, actually stops the menstruations gradually, and the benefits of them are same as the benefits of Mirena, that is the levonorgestrel containing progesterone, IUCD. And DMPA, especially DMPA, inhibits the sickling or contraceptive for patients with sickle cell anemia. And DMPA also protects against ovarian cancer. So these are the advantages of the DMPA, especially it is the best contraceptive method to be used for the patients with the sickle cell anemia, and as well as they has protection against the chance of the ovarian carcinoma. And let's move to the another topic, or sorry, another methods is a miscellaneous method of the contraception. We already know two names. One is the Centroman, which is a non-steroidal contraceptive. It may be asked as a MCQ or short note, which is a non-steroidal contraceptive used nowadays. His name is the Centroman, and male contraceptive, chemical oral contraceptive, name is Gossipol. Except of them, we also has another name named as 9-non-oxynol. The brand name is Today. The brand name is Today. 9-non-oxynol. This 9-non-oxynol is a spermicidal jelly. It can be used along with the condoms. So these are the important temporary methods of the contraception. Before finishing, we should know another important method of temporary contraceptive methods is emergency contraceptive methods or emergency contraception. In this method, what are the indications to use the emergency contraceptive methods? Indications are unplanned, number one, unplanned and unprotected intercourse. Number two, rape victims. And number three, if there is rupture or tear in condom or any barrier method of the contraception during the time of the intercourse. Now next question, how they act or mechanism of action. Number one, it inhibits the implantation process of the fertilized ovum. Number two, it never dislodges the already implanted embryo. So it is never a abortifacient. That means it never can cause the abortion. So it is a very important point. If already implantation process has occurred, it never can dislodge the implanted embryo. Number three, it inhibits the or delays the ovulation process. And number 4, it inhibits the fertilization. So there are numerous brand names are there for emergency contraceptive methods. Here the high hormonal products are used in these tablets, and within 72 hours of the intercourse we should take as early as possible, and these are the indications and the mechanism of action of the emergency contraceptive methods. So we covered all the permanent and the temporary methods of the contraceptives used in both males and females, and this is a very important question in the physiology, maybe asked as a long question or short note, so prepare yourselves very well. And if you like my video, please like this, share this, and subscribe my channel. And if you have any queries, please comment in the comment box or ask me in the WhatsApp. Thank you.